You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know, cause we know, we go all in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You know what time it is. All Dressed Up podcast. What is a podcast without CP time? Today is Dizzle CP time. I'll take all the L's for it. What up, young Hef?
What up?
Look
What
at her.
up,
Look at her.
man?
You got a hat on and you got that fresh cut. What's going on, man?
I'm excited, man. Either way, a good hat or a good fresh cut is always a way to go. But it's Young Hef. I'm here. It's still the All Dressed Up podcast, episode 7, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
Episode 7.
fucking with
On
K
the
Dizzle.
money.
You might want to call this episode 7.5, but we're here.
7.5.
We're here.
We're here.
What up? What up, chat? We're gonna show a lot of love to the chat today because we got a very nice topic. We're excited about tonight's show.
Tonight is a good night, bro.
It's a Pinkies Up episode. My pinkies are up already. You know what that means. A little loose tonight.
He got the book out tonight. Oh, wait a minute. He got the pen in the pad. We taking notes tonight. Wait a minute. Time out.
One thing I don't do is shoot from the hip. I do research, man. I'm not just I'm not just an expert and a guru at everything. I do research when I talk about K Dizzle. Hey, Malika Shanae. How you doing, beautiful?
Of course. Shout out to everybody coming through. Malika Shanae's in the building. Melinda Hef is in the building. Your phone can stop finally ringing.
Our home team is here. The texts were getting scared. They're like, what's going on? I told the friends 9 o'clock. I said, it's K Dizzle, man. It's K Dizzle, DC. He's over there with his drums and everything. He got to move, make some space. What up, 410 Beard? What up, Ray?
Reality's in the building. Y'all go check out Reality's podcast, man. It's dope ladies over there, man. I went back to watched quite a few episodes, man. They dope people, man. Mama Hef. We late, Mama Hef.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna shout out my Duke. She supports every week and she's in the chat every week. I appreciate you, love you. Malika Shanae, she's in the chat.
Love
That's
you,
my baby. Love you, baby. You're there every week supporting. Welcome Reality's podcast. Ray Sean is my cousin. Family. Her podcast is incredible. Check her out. I love it. Kermit, I don't mean to talk too long, but Melinda, that's family. Appreciate you. We're gonna remember the day ones. 410 Beer. We're gonna remember you were there, Kev, Royale, Shotty.
Boy in the building.
Shotty, my man, gave me the warm reception on Twitch. I ain't played a damn game yet. But I'm gonna play some games soon, man.
So where we starting, man? Because you've been crying. You've been crying for the past 2 hours, crying about that hat you got on, and your homie in the hat, and you had the homie in his ankle.
Let's get sports out the way. Y'all know I go through my sports rundown really quick. With my research and my love of the NBA, and I also got to play
research.
And I also got to play some ball today. It was like loving basketball. Me and my girl went to the gym. She beat me a couple games. I beat her a couple games. It's even. It was even.
But play for your heart.
I drove home, so I guess that means
So come on,
talking about sports. So on a light note, LeBron James rolled his ankle. All these uncoordinated athletes be out there, no business. I don't even know who did it, but he rolled some guy on the other team on the Hawks rolled him, and LeBron fucked his ankle up, so he's out indefinitely. That means he's gonna be finally getting a vacation that he deserves. Because we all know what he's playing for. So take it 2-3 weeks. Make sure the swelling goes down. Chill out a little bit.
Shout out to Malika in the chat. Lies, young Hef. I bust your ass.
Mook smoke something. No, I'm not trash. Oh, here we go again.
I need to know about Big P and that bet. You didn't take that bet from last week.
Big P messing around with me. I done found a spot to shoot around. He don't want to take that bet. I'm telling you.
Hey, but LeBron is out indefinitely.
Yes, he's
So
out
that
indefinitely.
means the MVP is up for grabs.
That means yes. That's the. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the only thing the regular season does mean with LeBron. It means the MVP's up for grabs. So okay, let's say Embiid is still teetering on the first
Right.
place for MVP. Then you got a close, in my opinion, James Harden. You know, he went over to Brooklyn, did his thing.
Right.
Gina McCoy, Realities Podcast. What's up, Gina? I know that's right.
In the
Gina
building.
is the
You know it.
co-host, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely
They
shout
all
back in the
dope.
chat. But they off
All
the hook
dope.
over there. All right, so look, before we move on from sports, look, it hurts my heart. But when you want to leave and everybody's like, jumping off the Houston ship, like the ship is sinking,
Ooh.
and they're trading the number one wide receiver, perhaps, and your boy last year for nobody, basically. Now Deshaun Watson wants to get out of there, and then you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna say conveniently, but how many cases did you say it was?
22.
Mm,
22
mm, mm,
cases came out of the woodworks.
mm, mm,
22.
mm. So allegedly, my man Deshaun Watson post asking for a trade from Houston. He's got a lot of charges or allegations and civil
That's been going
cases.
for months, Doc. The
Really,
biggest issue is they're all coming out all at once. All at
that's what
once.
usually happens.
Deshaun Watson has been an NFL quarterback for how long? 5
Right now,
years?
about 4 years.
4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting all of these women saying that, you know, jumping on. Look, okay, time out. Let me not discount whether it's true or not. Okay. I'm not discounting it's true or not. One thing I do know when what happens is in all these situations, if one comes out, a bunch of others come out, whether it's true
Okay.
or whether they're looking for the bag. So you see the one or the other. It's either they're out here and it's happening, they're all coming forward at once because one had the courage to do so, or one came out that had the courage to do so, or just looking for the bag and the rest are following.
I mean,
That's
here's the thing. I'm all about if there's any victim here in the situation, I'm pro
100%.
support for the victim.
First,
You know,
investigate.
are there multiple women that were victimized by this young man who allegedly was trying to get some type of sexual favors done at, I think, like masseuses or something like that. Um, but the whole thing that I'm
Massage.
yeah,
Massage.
massage parlors. But what I'm saying is that if because he hasn't been proven guilty, it's a civil case, so they're suing him for money.
Right.
If he's not guilty, it's slander at its best. It might hold up some deals for this man to get traded before the season.
22.
It's
22.
you got to think about the
22.
whole picture there. But I hope
Half.
he didn't do it. What's
Half.
up? What's up?
Chat. 22 women. Look, they didn't drip out. It wasn't like 1, 2 over the years. He's been a quarterback for 4 or 5 years. They all came out. 1 came out, 2 came out, then 22. It just went like this.
Not funny. But look at the chat. My man Mook said they're looking for a bag. Deshaun ain't got to do that for no cat emoji.
We don't. Nobody knows. I don't know. I take it as similar to the Andrew Cuomo story. Okay.
Yeah, you were saying
Governor Cuomo in New York. Similar situation. Don't know whether they're true or not. I know Andrew Cuomo's been a governor. This is his second term, right? Mm-hmm. Even 2016, they were considering him for a presidential run, and then his first term. He's been a politician forever, and all of a sudden, when you decide to write a book, and then Trump's out of office, these women come forward. I don't want to discount. Do the investigation. If there's merit to it, then absolutely. If there isn't any merit to it, then it's just a tough tightrope to walk.
Well said. I wish the best for the victims of the situation. Are the women the victims? Is Deshaun the victim? We'll see. To finish out sports, though, it is March Madness. My Terps did get I would say a slight upset. They beat UConn, played a nice defensive game. They couldn't get a rebound and save their damn life, but The good thing is they played some good defense, pulled out a win yesterday, but it's been upset city. Before we finish
HBUs
this
have been
report.
showing out.
HBCU's been out there playing. We got some good recruiters going on, some good recruitment, I should say. But that's gonna wrap up our sports. Let's go, K Dizzle. Let's keep it going.
Hey. Let's start you off first, man. You know what we got to do. We missed it last week. Did we miss it last week? I thought we
No,
missed it.
man. We
You
did
said I
not
didn't.
miss last week. Last week, all right, look, every week we give our viewers and our fans and our family the opportunity to put their black business owners on. We want to shout out people who are doing well in their community with their businesses. Last week we shouted out Forever Body with Jossie.
Yep.
Chat's hitting. You put on some bullshit. I'm not even going to talk about what you put out there for your black, but usually you do have some great information. But let's go, man. Who we talking about this week?
This week, I'm going first.
It don't matter. You can put me on. I can keep going. Go ahead and put it up on the screen.
Yeah, let me put it up on the screen.
There
first.
needs to be. Let me go ahead and put it up on the screen while I read the chat.
Because you've been heavy on it.
Yeah,
statute of limitations on sexual assaults. Because some people, there needs to be a statute of limitations.
See, that's a off of that one comment. It's hard for me to know where to go with that. Like, are we talking about over time? If you don't come out, you can't come out anymore. What if? I mean, there's a lot to that. Arizona Ron, and I know you're a very intelligent young man, so that's a good combo we can have. But you've got the whole aspect of fear. A victim might be afraid to come out and talk about their story, so they can dig deep and say, hey, it took me 3 years or 12 months to address the issue. So that's a good comment in the chat.
The problem is that you run into is that statute of limitations. I concur. I think there should be a statute of limitations. It's just a tough situation. You can't really call it. Call it. But when you have 1 through 22 within a matter of weeks, I have to be skeptical. I have to be. And I've been a pro athlete for 5 years. I have to be pro. Am I a pro athlete for 5 years? And the only time you come out when it's critical to my livelihood and me getting the bag, you have to come out and do that. Yeah, I already have the bag. I'm securing the bigger bag, and now you come out of nowhere.
Right. It's just interesting timing. But let's go, man. This week in Black Business, I'm gonna put on my man Ro Cuts Fades. My personal barber.
Take your hat off, bro. Take your hat
off. My haircut's not even fresh and it still looks good. I hope you put my picture up, but this is my man. This is my man Ro Cuts Fades IG. He cuts hair over in Laurel at the Laurel Town Center. It's at N Style, the barber shop over there. Look at my man's work. His fade work is serious. I will tell you this: you do have to contact Ro by appointment. Again, it's at N Styles over at Laurel Town Center. My man can cut. Yeah, you know what it is, Kermit. My man can cut some hair. He's been cutting my hair for about years. Time flies. But shout out to Cuts Fades. I usually post my pictures every Thursday, so y'all can see my lineup on my IG on Hef Streams. But
hold on. Let me pull it up because you begged me to put this shit up.
Yeah,
you begged me to put this shit up. Wait a minute, I gotta put his goddamn picture up for you.
I took my hat off. You can still see my fade.
Hey, he knows. Look, chat. He knows I can pull it up on my laptop, but he sent me the picture to my phone anyway.
Hey,
this
man,
guy right here.
You gotta love yourself.
Look, there it is.
Self-love. and that's me on a Thursday.
There's the cantaloupe.
The cantaloupe. The conversation, the debate spin: should the beard go? Should the beard stay? My baby loves the beard, so
baby loves the beard. Yeah. Hold on, let's get the other picture.
I love that's actually in the barbershop. I was, I just had to show y'all the lineup. I'm not bragging. I'm definitely not.
Hey, self-love is best love. Self-love is best love.
You gotta love yourself first.
Shout out to Ro Cuts, man.
Who you got, K Dizzle?
This week I got the homie KTG Works. I'm gonna go right to him. He's a photographer. He's a videographer. This man has done excellent work. I don't know if you've seen I'm gonna go so bad. The Duncans, about a few years back, there was a couple. The guy surprised his wife, took her, got her married all in one day. They filmed the whole thing, the video, got her dress, got her makeup and everything done, and they met her entire family in one place. It went viral. It went super viral. Duncans. This guy did a Keon Green, DMV based photographer. He's phenomenal. You can go KDG Works on Facebook, Instagram, kdgworksmedia.com.
Looks real good.
He's got great work. He does weddings, he does headshots, he does portraits. He's got videos that you can check out. I'm not even going to show all of them. We're just going to scan through them, see some of the stuff he's done. But I don't know if you can hear the audio. We're not going to go through that. But check the guy out. He does phenomenal work. Black-owned business.
The chat even said that they saw that. Malika said she saw it.
If you've seen that, then you know the guy's official. You know, It was beautiful. You know the guy's it's about that work. So again, KTG Works, Facebook, Instagram, kdgworksmedia.com. Please go support the brother. If you know somebody looking forward for some work, or you just need headshots for your LinkedIn, or you just need whatever, go see my man Keon Green. Shout out to Keon Green. So that's this week's in Black Bliss. You going to bed, Nicole? Go to bed, babe. Thanks for stopping through.
Good night for now to you, my friend. Miss Nicole 420. She probably was smoking that gas. That's probably why she's sleepy.
That's
probably why. Now look, chat.
Gasolina.
AK Dizzle, can you put the chat on the screen tonight? Because we're gonna be having a nice conversation.
Chat overlay. Hello.
So
welcome. You dropped your thank you, babe. I can't see it where I am. You ain't have to do that. It's much appreciated.
AK Dizzle, any bit you get dropped, you gotta cut a piece off and send it over to Young Head Streams on Twitch. I haven't played a game yet, Shotty. But when I play, we're gonna be doing that Apex.
Man, you get your game up where it starts saving and actually
don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. That's some OG shit.
Get there.
That's some OG shit. When you get your game up, young.
Get your game up, player. Get your game up.
Word. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
So. Where shall we begin? First of all, let me tell you what I'm named this. What did I name this?
That's what I'm talking about. Who are you listening to, right? So I put out a video on IG because let's be honest, right? There's a lot of people right now promoting podcasts and shows with their microphone in front of them. Shout out to King Conscious.
Appreciate you.
So there's a lot of people like me and K Dizzle, right? But no disrespect to all these podcasters. You know, I wish everybody success. It's a huge market for a lot of art and a lot of talent to be put out there. But you know, we've always had the idea of going live and talking about, you know, different topics to the people because we did this on a daily basis and we usually have fun with it. And nowadays it seems like everybody's getting behind this microphone and they're expert at every topic that they discuss. Now, I never really self-proclaimed myself to be an expert, K Dizzle. Are you an expert at a lot of these things that we talk about, or would you rather say you lived through experience?
I have experience. I'm not an expert. I don't think anybody's the next.
I'm not a relationship expert.
We're not relationship experts. We're all living through the same experiences and we're sharing them. That's it.
That's it. And we talk to the people because we want to interact and hear your opinions about how you went through those experiences. So what we're talking about, and I want the chat to stick with us because tonight's gonna be good. We're talking about all these online experts and these self-proclaimed therapists and consultants and
well say how it got started. Say how we started talking about these folks.
All right, so basically one night I'm chilling in my girl's house and I'm in the dining room and her cousins
at the girl's house.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm gonna keep you asked me to tell you where it started. Shit.
For sure.
So I'm sitting there and then you know, her cousin comes through with his friend and she says, you know, I'm talking about, you know, my aspirations of media and podcasting. And she's like, man, you got to check this guy out. I said, who's that? You know, I'm always open. I'm never gonna hate, you know, and just say, nah, I'm not gonna check him out. But she was like, you gotta check this guy out. I said, who? She said, Kevin Samuel, man, he be breaking that shit down. He be really, you know, telling it like it is. Like these women really like tune into him, and he like breaks relationships down. And I said, okay. So let me see who this gentleman is that's getting all this attention and that's getting everybody excited. So as you can see on the screen, we have Kevin Samuel, who I don't know personally. I've never met the gentleman. I've never talked to him. I have watched some of his content, and I gotta say, you know, in some levels, it's entertaining. But the whole point of the conversation is you got to ask yourself the question, you know, who are you taking your advice from? You guys talk to us every week, right? Every Sunday night we go here on the chat. And Mook say, my man, keep it 100. That's
See,
cool. I'm not, look,
see,
I'm not, this is what we're doing tonight. I want more, I
yeah,
want
yep.
more people in the chat come in because, and for me, if he's keeping it 100, because we're going to go over some examples tonight. We're going to talk about, you know, different other, you know, media outlets like Tanya TKO. She's definitely doing some, I would say, I won't say
Author,
hating, but she's throwing
life
some shit.
coach,
And look,
certified clinical hypnotherapist.
oh my God. I seen her show on Facebook and I didn't even know she had hypnotherapy skills. So there's a lot of talent out
Hypnotherapist.
here in the streets. But you know, is he keeping it 100? She's gonna say he's not. You know, a lot of black women are listening to him, and he had a video that went viral
What's up,
when he
lady?
basically addressed average. And you know, are women who are average, are their expectations too high to look for the high valued man, quote unquote? You know, who's a high value man? That's up for debate. And who's an average woman? That's up for debate. But this guy has a forum, just like, you know, me and K Dizzle. And we have a
Mhm.
live chat. Some of it do be overboard for entertainment. It's got to be funny, Mook. You know, it's
Let's
got to
give you
be
one more.
entertaining,
Let's give you
right?
one more. One more. Derek Jackson, self love ambassador, entrepreneur.
That's nice, man. Look at that.
Derek Jackson, the Heal Together book at $19.99. Buy it with PayPal. Heal Together. Oh, he got books. I
Oh, he
still
got
want it.
books.
Poetry book. Why the first thing I thought when I saw this book right here was Will Ferrell talk about let me put my poems inside you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Look, man. Look, I'm not what up,
What the
Voodoo
fuck
in
you
the
doing,
building.
Kermit?
Look, man.
What's up,
Look.
Voodoo?
So this is oh, see, Mook Smoke. No,
That's what I'm
you know
talking
why
about.
we're here. Then you
So
know,
look. So we're
go
coming. We're
go.
coming back. We're coming back to who are you getting your advice from? Are you listening to these relationship experts? You know, this guy Kevin Samuel, and I know K Dizzle's got some content we're gonna play a little later. He's a self-proclaimed image consultant. You know, he didn't necessarily say he was a college grad in any of the areas that he's discussing, but he started off with men. Men can call in. You know, a lot of these guys were, you know, not even necessarily men who were bum ass motherfuckers, but men who had shit but couldn't get women, and they were talking to Kevin Samuels, and he was kind of like Hitch, if you've ever seen that Will Smith movie. But apparently, when that was jumping off, a lot of his following turned into women. So he capitalized on the audience being mostly female. And then he started directing the question on their expectations and their standards of men. And this has led to the, you know, point and the opportunity for him to go viral. And it comes down to, are all these women going to listen to what this dude's saying? Because the conversations are hilarious, like Moose said in the chat. Like when you hear him speak, this guy's talking to these women on the phone live as he's sitting in his living room, and he's talking about your average. You know, what makes you
Mm,
think you're gonna get a man? What makes you think you're gonna be married? And then the young lady will say, "Oh well, you know, I've grown up around men. I've had 5 brothers. Those are
mm.
boys." He'll say those are boy. The man be sharp with the K Dizzle. And you know, are we listening to these experts? Are you talking to your girlfriend who has her own relationship, and is she passing her standards on to you? This is
Oh,
what I want the chat to open up. Come
oof,
on,
oof.
realities. Come on in.
So yeah, look. Mook says picnic. Okay, picture this. You could be whoever you want to be on the internet. They found a way to monetize their internet personas. 100%.
Right.
Reality is, I'm getting advice from those with personal experiences, but even then, I'm still cautious because it may not necessarily relate to me. Got you. Most people are not the people they are on internet in real life. Woo!
That's some real shit. That's some real shit. Comment in the chat. We got some good conversation, and that's the thing. Like, we got other podcasters in reality and media, personalities coming out like Tanya TKO, and she's pulling out videos of his ex-wives. Allegedly, he's had 2 divorces, and maybe he can speak off experience off a divorce. But I just think it goes back to that toxicity. We've got words of 2020 and 2021 that have become prevalent in our society now, and male toxicity is one. And I watched it with an open eye perspective, and I was looking at it both ways, and I thought the shit was funny. I thought the dude obviously was going for views, and he might have a lot of education in that background. But how much can you sit there and literally listen to, and let's talk about you putting yourself out there and talking to these personalities, and how much you can actually take in and put towards your relationship.
Well, here's part of it. Reality said that
we're gonna have a line coming soon.
We got a line coming soon. I'm getting advice from these with personal experience, but even then I'm still cautious because it may not necessarily relate to me. Look, people are looking for advice. They're looking for people to give them good advice, or more often than not, people are looking for people to tell them what they want to hear. And most of these people are telling them what they want to hear at that particular time. Now, Kevin Samuels, he's speaking, like you said, from his perspective. Tanya TKO, her perspective. Derek Jackson, his perspective.
Hey, K Dizzle.
Yo.
Real quick, because I really want to focus on, obviously, what you're saying, and I don't want you to lose where you are. But we just got a message from Arizona Ron, and he says, what does his personal life have to do with the message? That's a good question.
No, that is a great question.
Go ahead.
Great question.
Because I didn't mean to stop you anyway, but I want to acknowledge some of these good questions that are coming in.
His personal life has nothing to do with his message unless the message he's given is contradictory to what he's living in his personal life. You can't come out here and teach faithfulness, righteousness, and be out here dogging your woman out. It just doesn't work like that. You can't be speaking on something that you're not living at all, because then we cannot believe what you're saying. You could be saying all the right stuff, but then you saying don't do drugs, but every time you give that message on TV, you high it in life.
But it's 2 ways to go. I can say don't do drugs.
How's the 2 ways on that?
I'm gonna tell you. I can say don't do drugs because I've never done drugs and I'm successful, so therefore don't do drugs. And then I can also tell you don't do drugs because I've been the biggest crackhead on the streets, and I know you shouldn't do drugs. It's 2 ways.
But so that's different.
What
we talking about? Hold on. What we talking about is you being on TV and saying don't do drugs.
But
at the same time.
What I'm saying is, though, on the flip side, K Dizzle, and this is why I'm glad I'm talking about this, man. He could be giving his feedback and his advice off of never trust a bartender that don't drink. So he can be giving his advice off of his personal failures or personal experiences, is what I'm saying. That's like the guy who sniffed the crack or smoked the crack and said don't do drugs, because he's been through 2 divorces. So maybe he can give life experience off of his shortcomings or the marriage's shortcomings. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. His personal life has a lot to do with the message. You have to speak on what your experiences are. Exactly. Just if you're experiencing cheating on your spouse, then talk about cheating. Right. Don't tell me be faithful. Exactly. So that's kind of my point.
Exactly.
I agree with Ray
John.
That's what I
said. Don't preach a sermon that you're not even, that you have no business, or you're not even pretending to live by. Don't preach that sermon if you're not pretending, if you're not even living by it. Okay, we can talk. That goes for everybody who's in a public figure state, who is in a situation where they're looked to for a certain thing. Okay, don't you just? It's a cardinal sin. It's a cardinal sin. That's
Did you
immediately
have
when cancel culture jumps in and says, "Hey, use a lie, use a fraud, use a cheat." It's the best example I can give is Milli Vanilli, and I'm dating myself with that shit because it's a few people probably watching this that don't know who Milli Vanilli is. Milli Vanilli was one of the greatest duos of all time in history. These bands was doing worldwide shows, right? Two so-called Jamaican brothers with dreads. Two so-called Jamaican brothers with dreads that had a hit song, "Girl, You Know It's True." Look, they went worldwide singing this joint. They didn't even sing it. They lip synced it. People in the studio sang that joint. Look, Voodoo singing that joint. I'm not gonna do that. Look, they got caught on stage when the record skipped that they were lip syncing, and that was the end of their career. You cannot go out here in these streets and perpetrate a certain lifestyle.
But what you got to understand, K Dizzle, is that people want to go viral. See, me and you are on a different wave. We're working on organic success, right? We're working on if you build it, they will come, right? We're gonna put out content that we're gonna stand behind. And you know, I talk to my girl all the time. I say I'm not gonna post a video because I got a lot of shit coming that I'm gonna look back 5 years from now and regret posting that video. Because a lot of people are getting pulled up on some old social media shit.
Man,
so
yeah, we did talk about that. They say, you got to look at if you're looking at if you're thinking about your future. Unfortunately, we live in a society where you have to think about everything you say and do for the future because you never know where the future is going to take you, and you got to think about what you might have said or what you might have done to offend somebody. Me personally, I care nothing. I care nothing about that anymore because sooner or later. I don't want to have to work for anybody that's going to require me to have to think that way. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I don't want to have to work for anybody or be reliant upon anything that's going to require me to have those certain standards to go back and say, I apologize for that. No. You know how many times I said fuck the police on Twitter? My God. You know how many times I said that? Good God. I don't want to have to go do that. I don't want to go do that. Let me take that off. Hold on. But
real quick to the chat though, okay, he moving like a politician. He only looking to be like, so he's saying everything you want to hear. He's going by what society. I mean, that's the thing. And honestly, right, before I like to give a judgment on a person that I've never met, I'm gonna watch different. Be quiet, Siri. I'm gonna watch different interviews, different segments because I want to get the best collection of thoughts and ideas from this person to come up with a good analysis. And I watched him on an interview. I watched him on an interview with another podcast, and we're gonna talk about another podcast later with Quavo and Sweetie. But but
we missed that. We'll come back.
We didn't miss it. We didn't miss it. I got my shit written down right here. Look. He was 20 minutes late.
Look. Go ahead.
Look at that shit. So what was I saying? Man, you done cut me off. God damn it. Here you go.
Hold on. Let's go to he was moving like a politician. Let me go back to that. He only looked at me like you're right. So he's saying anything you want to hear.
Yeah. So look, so Kevin Samuels on he's on No Jumpers podcast, right? No Jumpers podcast. If they get a good interview, it might get you about 500, 600,000 views. It's a pretty successful podcast on YouTube, and basically, his demeanor, I should say, on that podcast with two men was very chill, very low key. You had two guys like eating everything up that he was saying, like, oh yeah, like it's the best shit since sliced bread. And you know what? The dude, like the chat saying, the dude found a niche. He has an audience. He's gonna keep tickling that audience, and pretty soon he's gonna have to live and stand by, the backlash behind everything he said. By calling all these women average.
I think he's at the point where he don't care. I think he's to a point where he does not care. That one clip, he was already doing pretty good where he was.
Are you playing any clips today?
Elevate. No, I don't want to get DMCA'd. I thought about that because you're on YouTube. You don't want to get DMCA'd. So he was at a good place where he was. When that one clip went viral, it took him to the next level. It took him to a whole nother level of exposure, which then the culture started combing through his shit and finding all the stuff, the negative stuff about him. Like with what's going on now with Tanya TKO, and she talking about his ex-wife and all that other crazy stuff. That's just another relationship expert / hypnotherapist.
And she reads tarot cards like Miss Cleo and shit.
Going in, capitalizing on his success to pull into her show, to pull some of his people because she's talking about him and mention.
He's just the polar opposite of Derek
Jackson.
Arizona Derek Jackson, my man, came through in the chat. Hey, man, he got me over here cracking up.
Derek Jackson irritates my life to no end. I'm sorry. He irritates my life. I think, I don't know. I can't even.
Nah, break it down. You said he irritates your life. What's up?
No, man.
Get it off your chest, K Dizzle.
I just.
Pinky's up.
So you know me. I don't know the man. I've watched probably 5 or 6 of his videos. I just think he's full of shit.
Yeah.
I just think he's full of shit. You know, when
looks like a duck, walks like a duck.
And it's just my opinion. And I can meet him one day or not meet him one day, and he look back and say, "Yeah, you said I was full of shit." Yeah, I think you're full of shit, but you're being successful at what you do. Kudos. It's a lot of people out there that's full of shit that's being very successful. I just don't buy it. That's just me. Now, he reaches a certain crowd, those people who look to him and watch his content and love what he says and love what he does. I just think he's full of shit. That's just a personal thing with me.
But see, that's the thing. Everybody has an audience, man.
Everybody's got an audience.
And once you, like you just said, and you're not his audience, and you don't give a fuck about what you got to say about him, because he's gonna tickle his audience, and that's what these guys do. And we got our audience, and we got our family and our friends too. So where this is going, chat, because I want everybody to stick around because we're just getting started. The best part's coming. We're talking about expectations. We're talking about women's standards of men. We're talking about
gentlemen.
What? They're both using
48 laws of power tactics. You're right. Capture attention by any means.
Right.
Yeah, that's
of course. That's the boy on point tonight, man. So So we're talking about standards, right? We're talking about women who go out there and say, all right, look, so this is what I want in a man. And before look, to preface this, I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a therapist. I have not. Yeah, I ain't got no licenses. You don't see any certificates.
That's a universal sign of. Yeah, look, you put your hands up. That's a universal sign of hey,
fair catch.
Hey.
So
safe place.
So, like we said, who you getting your advice from? A lot of women are going off of basing their standards off of other people's standards per se. I'm in a relationship, a very loving, happy relationship. I know K Dizzle is married, and a lot of our chat, honestly, some of our friends and family that we know are married and are getting married. But we do have life experience, and we do have a lot of friends that maybe we can help out, or maybe you can tell your friends to jump in right now and join us, because over the next few minutes, we're going to talk about standards. We're going to talk about expectations. We're going to talk about the woman, the female, the queen, because you know what she say does matter. What she want does matter. Mm-hmm. And can we provide what she's asking for? And here's how we're going to segue into it, K Dizzle, right? So I hit my man up to everybody out there watching K Dizzle up yesterday. And I said, look, man, I saw this situation because over the last, all I'm going to say is don't hold me to standards. You can't even meet me. Exactly. So here's where we going, Mook. So I don't know if you got a lot of our audience, K Dizzle, is all around the age spectrum, not to be funny. So you got a lot of people who work real hard. They don't got the time to really follow up on a celebrity, like young rapper relationship. But if you've been, chilling out, probably following Instagram, watching YouTube, you can probably pick up that Quavo from the Migos, who's pretty much like the Beyonce of the Migos.
Beyonce of the Migos?
Yeah,
for real?
Yeah, he is.
Is that what we doing?
He's the one that can go solo right now. but Offset probably can too. But don't throw me off because that's a whole other topic. So we got Quavo. Quavo's out here, really treating his girlfriend really nice. Her name is Sweetie. Young lady out, like, again, I don't know her. I'm not gonna disrespect her and talk bad about her. She's out here doing her thing. She's got a successful career. I think she's the cousin of Gabrielle Union, from what I've been told. But based out of the West Coast, had a couple of singles this year that's been pretty popular. A lot of her music content is kind of like that rich girl mentality, like, talking about dudes gotta have, so much money. She got that song, That's My Type,
That's my type.
stuff like that. So, not to lose you, but here we go. So basically, I've seen my man Quavo, who I know is getting it, publicly really treating her nice with gifts, sending her on shopping sprees. I think he purchased her a vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, and
Yes.
that's great.
It's a Bentley.
That's great. So he purchased her a Bentley. So we're talking about standards. Now, I've never purchased my girlfriend a Bentley. K Dizzle, I've done nice
purchased my
things.
girl a Big Mac. Does that count?
I'm sure you've done better than that.
Okay.
But I
So-
personally never purchased a Bentley. So go ahead. What you want to go?
No. We're talking about that whole situation. So she went. Okay, so she went on a podcast, right? Yeah, he did have that repossessed 350,000. So she went on the podcast, very revealing podcast, right? Yeah, $350,000 car repossessed. I don't know. Do you hire city boys up? Hey, she went on a podcast, okay, and answered some very revealing questions. Like, I think the one that did it all was
but hold on, break it down. What podcast is she going on?
I don't.
All right, so look.
I don't remember that podcast.
All right, let me give it to you real
told
quick.
me about it because I don't watch.
So basically, all right, look, we got to think about it real quick. It's a podcast on Revolt TV. It's hosted by Justin LA Boy. It's called Respectfully Justin. The producer of the podcast is Puffy Combs' son. I believe his name is Sean Justin. He's the young man that went to USC. He played football, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He's not the rapper.
He got all the notes.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not gonna come on here and talk shit if I don't have facts.
Go ahead.
So my man's out here. Allegedly, he was the ex-boyfriend. I'm not gonna say allegedly. They said on the podcast. That's her ex. So she's on the podcast with a whole bunch of young ladies.
Pigeons. Carry on.
Behind her, out here in this nice, like, Hollywood Hills setting, got the little fire going and shit, and they all basically playing, truth or shot in a sense. So it's a simple idea. The podcast obviously went viral because you got Puffy's son, who's the ex of Sweetie,
right,
who is the current girlfriend of Quavo, and we're talking about standards, right? So she's on here, obviously knowing she's about to get grilled with all types of dumbass questions because the host is known as being toxic anyway, referring to Justin LA Boy. So with him already doing his thing, asking her all these questions about did she cheat in college, which would only make sense because she dated Puffy's son in college.
Okay.
And obviously that's going to bring up old memories. And then they're asking her questions about, the most craziest sexual experience. But long story short, let's talk about the question that, in my opinion,
the question that
really rocked the whole, which you were getting ready to talk about.
The repo.
the question
that caused the repo. Carry on.
I'm gonna pose a question and you're gonna pose it.
You pose a question.
All right, so look. So they're sitting there, and to us in the public, you're looking at a couple, Quavo and Sweetie. And to each his own, whatever they do in their sexual lives is whatever they do. It's not my business. And they give her a question and they say, look, the host of the podcast asked the girl, Sweetie, excuse me, and they're like, if your man did everything perfect and he was like, yada, 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 the best this, the best that, did this, did that, and you wanted to per se reward him with a threesome, who would you bring home? Right? And see, this is where I can't necessarily say if it was for ratings for the podcast or if she was just already going in knowing she was getting ready to get some type of shock value. But she goes to say, so what you're telling me, she actually answers the question with a question. She says, "So what you're telling me? My man did everything perfect." They said everything. He did XYZ. They said he did XYZ. She said, "I would give him the privilege of picking the dude that I would bring home with him."
Wow. Wow.
So my whole point is, at what point, not to sound redundant, are you over a standard? Because I think if I'm a
Instant
millionaire,
repossession.
right, and I'm buying my girl cars and clothes and shopping sprees, like that's definitely satisfying that, I think, area of the relationship. I can't speak on the other areas, but is this what is causing? That's our segue. Is this what is causing the standard, I guess, or the perception? Oh, come on, Malika Shanae, I'm ready for you tonight. I know you coming
Ooh.
heavy on the chat.
Ooh.
So how is what she said any different from the things Quavo rap about? Excuse me. He's rapping about fucking bitches and getting
I'm gonna
money,
let you
not
answer
being
that question.
faithful and loving one woman.
It's
I don't,
coming
I
after you.
don't, I don't remember Quavo rapping about fucking bitches and get money in the last year since he's been in that relationship. You laugh.
You put a time frame on it.
I'm
I can't say
serious.
I can't say what he did in
I don't think
2019,
I don't
but
think he did an album
past
since he's
year, I
been
think
with
he's
her.
been good.
I don't since the dude's been in this relationship. I don't think he's dropped an album. I've been seeing him play basketball in the
That's
All-Star show.
his last track was the stir fry joint. He got a
He got
rap about the shit. Look, man. The problem with it is
Stop it,
this.
Alan.
The problem is, if it is supposed to be the question, which is a silly question, was posed. It was a silly question that was posed: is who would you bring home for a threesome for your man, not you, your man? And she says, I'm going to let him choose what dude that we're going to bring in for our threesome. And that immediately prompted, within 12 hours, the repossession of the Bentley he got for her birthday or whatever it was. Because it was not only was it selfish, the entire podcast was it I thought it was trash. The entire podcast was trashy.
It was
asking
quick.
sex questions.
It was viral, yeah.
It was done for viral purposes and viral purposes only. It had
was
no
their
real
second
content.
episode.
But
I'm not gonna hate on it. It was their second episode ever, and
it
they got about 500,000 views. Obviously,
you're not gonna hate on it, Hef. You're not gonna hate on it, Hef. Really? You're not gonna hate on it.
I mean, all I'm saying is it's that shit ain't organic. Like it's easy.
Well, we know it's their second podcast. They got Revolt behind them. It's Diddy's son producing it. Here's what I'm saying. It was a trash interview, and it was meant to set her up and get her caught up in the shit that she's in now. It ended a relationship. She's answering sex questions on the podcast when you know you got a boyfriend, and you know your boyfriend is watching.
And her ex is there. We didn't really even drill in on that because it's really not that important. But Puffy's son's her ex.
Damn. Hold on. Wait a minute, Ron. Ladies, look at what Ron wrote. Hold on. Women overachieve in the sex department, which makes them overrate themselves in the relationship department. IMO. Whoa. But shots fired, Ron.
But Arizona, Ron, what do you mean they overachieve in a sex department?
Shots fired, Ron. Yeah, it was a trash and toxic interview. But he says, read that again. They overachieve in the sex department and make them overrate, which makes them overrate themselves in the relationship department.
Well, I think I see where he's going with that. And I guess what he's saying is because they're on a pedestal sexually, they believe that their relationship standards should be also on a pedestal as well. Because, you know, even though most people don't express it this way, a lot of people, you know, the man's supposed to you know, cater to the woman and chase the woman because that's the object. Well, you know, all that good shit.
The same goes. Look, you put it on. The box will not solidify a quality relationship. It never will. Nor will the eggplant. It will never solidify a quality relationship.
But see, that's why
only solidify craziness. It
But
will
that's why
only
these young
solidify
girls, K
craziness.
Dizzle, aren't set up for marriage because their whole thing is leapfrog to the next motherfucker that they can go from 6 figures to 8 figures. And that was the thing. Towards the end of that podcast, they were
That was a
asking the
trash
women.
podcast. It was a bunch.
All right, but
I'm
they were
not the show. Let me take it. Not the show. The content within it was trash to me. It wasn't entertaining me, and
they
it
were
wasn't.
asking the
See,
women, but they were
Malika said
asking the
they were
what?
birds, man. Come on, stop. They were birds. Pigeons eat anything, man.
Good sex
And
will make you do dumb shit. We all
it
been
will
there.
make you do, like I said, it will only solidify insanity. If the box is great, you will do insane shit. If the eggplant is great, they will do insane shit. It's just what it is. It has no correlation to a relationship itself, because the relationship itself is based on mental stability and emotional stability, and the physical part has nothing to do with the other two.
But with all due
Nothing
respect,
at
you're
all.
skipping over the main point of where we're going. Do
What's
you
the-
even get to the eggplant if the motherfucker don't make your standards because he's only making $130,000 a year and he's a truck driver
Oh,
and he's not
that's
a
some bird
rapper?
shit.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, all right, you don't got to be a rapper, but if you're not making, 300 grand, 400
No.
grand driving a Lambo, how do you even get to that point? Some of these women out here, and this is what Kevin Samuels was saying.
Yeah.
Are you average, not bringing anything to the table, right? As a woman, are you average and not bringing anything to the table, but you want the world and you expect this man to be a 200,000 plus, no kids, perfect shape and all this and all that. But as a woman, you might not have worked in years. You might have bad credit. You might have been a divorcee, got 3 kids. I mean, I've asked women, and that's the thing. I've asked women, I say, do you believe women have exceedingly high standards of men? And honestly, I get about 60, 40, 50, 50 on that.
To those ideals can be applied to everything in life. Well, when you're talking about relationships, we always expect more than what at first we're willing to give. We're always expecting what we want on our side, right? Like you said, they got to be 6 figures, 8 figures, and we've never touched it. You know what I'm saying? How do you expect? And Kevin Samuels has a point on that aspect. How do you expect to get someone that level if you're not on that level? You can be average on both sides. Men have body expectations for women, and they don't have a 6-pack.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I just said. We have higher expectations for our significant others than we do of ourselves. And that is a huge issue when we're talking about the dating scene, the relationship scene, period. Because we all expect for our spouse or that person to do everything that we want them to do.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Go ahead.
There's one factor that changes everything we're talking about, and that's what?
What?
You know that. Come on, man.
What?
Cash money.
Cash money?
So
cash money ain't got shit. Cash.
Yes. No. Hold on. Let me say something. We're talking about generations, right? This generation here is built off of what they see on social media. And what they see on social media takes cash money. It's human nature. Okay. So when I see something on social media, I see my man take out his girl and they're all living lavish and like the French Riviera, balling out with Gucci and Louis and all that shit.
Though.
I don't know that though. These kids don't know that, is what I'm trying to tell you. Me and you know that. But these kids don't understand that. These girls are like, look, I'm a not all these girls. But that type of woman.
You see him pull himself back.
That type of woman is gonna sit there and leapfrog, in my opinion. It's like I can't look. I'm gonna give you an analogy for your ass. I can't get the Navigator rate yet, so I gotta get the Explorer. I got too much negative equity in my Escape, so I can't. I want the Navi, but look, me and you gonna go over there and close
Me,
them on
you gonna
getting the
go get the we
Explorer,
gonna get the Aviator.
Aviator. No, they're not even getting. They're getting the Explorer
they getting,
with
they
the
getting
with
it.
the with the
Okay.
sport package, and then we're gonna
Shout
get
out to
them in.
those who own the Explorers. Shout out to Explorer owners.
And then we're gonna get them into the Navigator, and that's what these women are doing. Y'all, you laughing? I'm telling
No,
you, bro.
let me tell you. No, look,
These women are using men. Those type of women are. I shouldn't say these women because there are a lot of good women out there. You laughing because you know
I'm
I'm
laughing
being
because you're over there trying to save yourself. Look, man. So,
this guy.
so what you have is you have a culture that grew up that were taught to fake it till you make it, right? They were taught to fake it till you make it. Show all this, show all that. I know some of the dopest people in real life that live a entirely different persona online. Like their IG page looks like they six figures. When I know that I know that I know they nowhere near six figures, but their persona shows an image of that. Now, people know to a certain extent that what they see this generation, I know you get them a little less credit. This generation knows that TV is TV. They know that YouTube is YouTube, and they know that IG is IG,
But
TikTok is
marriage
TikTok,
isn't
et cetera, et
marriage
cetera, et
to
cetera.
them though. But
Huh?
marriage isn't marriage to them though.
But this generation learns from the past generation, the previous generations. I think what we've tried to do in our generation is we've tried to give our kids everything that we didn't have when we should have been giving them everything we did have.
Right.
And what
AK
I mean,
Dizzle.
yo,
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
yeah, what I mean by that is like I say it all the time. Like leftovers in my house. When I grew up, there were no such things leftovers. In my house, they throwing leftovers away, and I'm looking. I feel like a child in Africa that need that 25 cents a day. Like, yo, why is this going in the trash? I'm hearing that
This
song.
motherfucking
In
crazy.
the arms of
AK Dizzle.
I'm
Real
getting
quick,
heated.
right? Real
Yo,
quick.
they don't want to be married in this generation. They don't.
Right.
They
That's
don't.
my point. Look, Patricia Heffer says so true, Kermit. So she Patty on your side. Arizona Ron says, look, to be fair, men do it too. That's why men get the upgrade wife when they get on. Malika Shanae says the same thing Arizona Ron says. What about the guys who get put on and then leave the woman who held them down for an exotic woman? Okay, that's a fair question because that's definitely out there. I would never sit here and be toxic and say that doesn't exist.
Whose fault is it?
Ooh,
Ooh.
I ain't gonna just jump out there and just
Ooh.
answer that question. I mean,
Ooh.
that's a
Whose
good
fault
question.
is it? Whose fault is it? Sometimes it's
What do you
not.
mean by
It's
whose fault is it?
the man or the woman who gets on and that held them down and leaves them for an exotic man or woman. Whose fault is it? Is it the man that got on, the woman that got on, or is it this significant other that's getting left by the wayside?
So what are you saying? The
One of the two.
significant other? Are you saying the significant other knew she was getting left,
I'm
or he was
saying,
getting left?
I am saying LeBron James is still married to the same woman that he's had all his kids with.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because they grew together. They stayed in communication together. Not programming, Ron. It's communication and staying together. Who are they listening to? Back to what we're talking about. Who are they listening to? Because as soon as they get on, are they listening to the stereotype of saying you need to upgrade, or are they listening to their significant other? He didn't get caught up with birds. He could have easily got caught up with birds.
You don't know if he got caught up with
Easily.
birds or not, first and foremost. So let's talk about it because LeBron is my man. But Malika Shanae is my baby. And let's call a spade a spade. He could have the most ride or die, wife from childhood high school,
Mm-hmm.
and they could have an agreement like this is the thing. We aren't in their marriage. You understand what I'm saying? That they LeBron James is not Marcus. He's not Hef Streams. He's not K Dizzle. So wherever he goes, he's gonna get whatever he wants. Can you imagine? I deal enough with, the perception of what men do, right? We deal
Mhm.
enough as as just an average person, as an average man every day. If y'all niggas ain't shit, you gonna do this or do that
Oof.
eventually. And
Oof.
and here's the thing, and I'm gonna finish up. You just don't know what their arrangement is. LeBron James is my man, most cleanest athlete off the court. Never got caught up with any garbage, and she seems like a wonderful wife. But this generation, and this is where I come back. Do they want that type of arrangement? Is the guy or the girl looking for that microwave society? Uh, quick come up, and is social media giving us that illusion that I'm missing out? I saw a post earlier where it showed a couple on the balcony of a resort looking over the beach, but on the right side of the screen was a chain and ball saying debt. So
That's funny.
I ain't mean to
That's
talk
funny.
too long for you, K Dizzle.
No, you hit the nail on the head, man. Because who are we listening to when you get in those situations? When you get to that point that we're talking about, um, what is your driving force on staying or going with the woman, or even what just relationships in itself, on the communication and in the advice. The advice you're getting is critical to your next move, your everyday move. Who are you listening to? Making sure that the people that you're getting your information from are quality people, valid people.
That's a good
Even if,
point.
make sure they're quality of they're quality people.
Are you
Low.
getting your advice from them because they're educated and they have a degree? Are you getting your advice from them because they have firsthand experience? And the chat says, but our generation is raising this generation. So who is to blame? Wonderful comment. If you teach your kids self love, they won't go looking for love in other people. Phenomenal answer. Phenomenal
I think,
message.
let me say something on that. Let me say something about our generation raising this generation. This generation that's coming up, because the advent and the onslaught that they grow up in social media. Everything is online. Everything is predicated to what you look like, what your status is online. Mental health is important. It's extremely important. And the truth of the matter is, our generation is just now tackling this situation of mental health. We're just now getting to the point where saying, hey, it's okay to seek help if you need the help. It's okay to speak out. So we're kind of learning it as we go along, at the same
Right.
trying to time at the same time trying to teach our kids that it's okay to ask for help, and also just stay within the mental health check. So it's
Yeah.
hard. It's a hard situation, in circumstance, with our generation and the younger generation as it stands now. So that's why it's more important than anything is to make sure that the information that you're getting is quality information, is coming from a good source. Now, my spiritual side says you can get a message from a bum on the street. God's, let me go to the spiritual. God's word will come anywhere, will come to you at any given time from anywhere, any place. It can come in a fortune cookie. It can come in that crackhead that you already know that comes in a carry out every Friday at 7:30. But you have to be mindful to be able to listen and have a spirit of discernment to be able to know that that message is for you. So it always helps to have a good grounding on knowing what's for you and knowing how to hear it. So getting to that, that's one of the biggest issues. Who are you listening to? Where's your information coming from? Because that's the biggest problem I think that we have within social media. Influence the generation more than what generation teaching us, if we're being honest. Woo! It does. That's why information is power. That's why information is power. And unfortunately, we live in a country where you can say whatever you want and really not with the exception of saying I'm gonna build a bomb and blow shit up. You can say whatever you want and put it out there on the internet, and if enough people believe it, enough people read it, then it'll it'll gain too much traction and too many people to see it. So I don't know what happened to Young Hef. I think he had to go take a piss, but but I don't know where he went, Mama. I don't know. What I do know is this: Derek Jackson, Kevin Samuels. How and do you have the discernment from knowing right from wrong? That's 100%. Now, where do you learn that discernment? Where do you learn that discernment? You got to learn it from being rooted and grounded from your parents, from your family, and from your beliefs. That's the only way that you'll learn it. Because if you don't, you will be lost in the sauce. You will believe anything you see on YouTube. You believe any of that shit you'll see on Facebook, any of shit on IG and TikTok, all that crap. Our biggest issue right now is information. Biggest issue. Half the fucking country believe that Donald Trump won the election. Half the fucking country believes that dumbest lie ever told that he won the fucking election. They still believe that shit. The Midwest, they still believe that shit. I'm sorry I said it. Don't care. The information out here, bro, because our freedoms are a gift and a curse because we are allowed to say it, but then when we go back, we can't really fact check and take the shit off because then that's that itchy ear syndrome. That's the problem. That's the problem. You know, majority current generation is being as though they came up using computers. Yeah, we know that. That is fact. YouTube, man, I tell you, my kids didn't watch. I don't know why I paid for cable for so long all these years, but my kids don't even watch cable. They watch YouTube. They've been watching YouTube for years. They don't watch cable. They don't watch the television. My dumb ass been paying Verizon money for years.
The things that you and I will go get experience from, right? The things that you and I will go feel, touch, and smell, they found on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. My daughter asked me today. She was like, "Dad, you know, when you were young, did you go outside and go to your friend's house and stuff?" I said, "Yeah, that's what we did. We went outside, and sometimes if I didn't have any friends home or whatever the case, I'd go out and ride my bike."
Can you imagine? Can you imagine these kids actually going to knock on their friend's door and ask them to come outside?
Man, shit.
Now they got a phone and an iPad. They Facebook messaging.
They FaceTiming before you get to the door. You coming outside? You coming outside? You be out there. All right,
which bike you riding today?
Yeah, what the fuck? Come on, man. It's a different time. It's different time, 100%. Different times, but you just have to be mindful of the information you take in. Who are you listening to?
That's it.
Our country is divided between CNN, Fox, and MSNBC on where we get information from. It just depends. Hopefully you're getting the right shit, man.
And that's funny. Arizona Ron, not to cut you up, but Arizona Ron said older people said the same thing about us. And that's what me and my girl were talking about earlier. Like I say a lot of things about the previous generation, and they say, they said the same things about us. And my whole thing is the first thing that I really get on when it comes to generations, and it's a whole different topic, is music. Like, listening to rap music now and, what people think is the best. And I'm sure we'll have a whole different, podcast on that, but it's definitely a different time. And my biggest thing is, why does a woman look down upon a man who can make 150 grand a year, being a truck driver? Is that a bad thing?
Or a construction worker?
Or a construction worker, or, a plumber, people who have reputable trades, people who will never be out of a job. It seems like, years ago, those type of professions were respectable. People brought home the bacon, the family was taken care of. And I'm not discrediting women in their, ambition, not even questioning it one bit. Seriously, you keep on laughing because I'm cleaning my shit up, but I'm not going there. But my whole point is just because I'm a truck driver and I make 150 grand, does that mean I can't talk to the female executive who's making 300? Am I out? Am I totally out of the conversation? That's my question. As a man or woman, you shouldn't want anyone who looks down on you. Okay, but
How many
if
how many
a woman
movies
makes, go ahead.
how many movies do we have to make for us to realize that the money doesn't matter?
Right.
How many movies, how many sitcoms, how many shows we gotta make to really have the honest conversation that money doesn't matter? The only time money matters is when you make it matter. When you make it a point to matter.
How do we go hard? How do we go so hard on women every week? You know, this is
We
a
don't
very
go hard on
strong.
women. We go
That's a
hard on
very strong message.
we go hard on relationships. It's not
All
women,
I
it's
did was
relationships.
hold on, K. Dizzle. All I
You,
did
you
was ask if
don't bring that. Hey, you clean that up after the podcast.
no. All I'm saying is, I'm talking about the women. I'm actually trying to give respect where it's due. The woman who's so successful, making 500 grand a year, can she date a plumber? I don't see that. So all the women in the
Yes.
chat, where do you see it?
Can a woman that makes $500,000 a year date a plumber?
Where do you see it?
We did talk about, but
And she
J Lo's
deserved it
trash. We
last week.
talked about she deserved it. J Lo
Right.
had no business
And she
being
deserved
at
it
the
last week.
inauguration, and she had
She
no
should have
business.
had no chance singing at
She
that
had
shit, like
rings.
K Dizzle said.
She had rings, bro. She got multiple rings.
She got 6
What?
rings.
She got 6.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, look at the recorded episode of last week.
Look, but no, it's not just women. Women have been the topic, but men are equally disturbing in the same vein, because a man will not look at a woman unless she looks at, if a man's making $500,000 a year, it's a stigmatism, like we talked about. The woman got to be shaped like a Coke bottle, blase blah, woo-zay woo. They got to be a certain body, age, whatever it is. There you go, disappearing on me, man. Bring your ass back in here. Look, Malika, did you cut him out, bro? You all right?
We
you
still
okay?
here.
You good?
We still here. I'm
okay.
here. It's all on me, baby.
But men have the same set of standards too, that they fail at every time as well. You see a successful man, like we expect to have a black man expect to have a white woman on the shoulder when they get too big, or they expect to have everything else, or woman to be pear shaped or whatever. You know, if you got a big girl and you successful, they look at you funny. They do. That's because of our own insecurities, our own selfish wants for that person, which is crazy. So it ain't just men, it ain't just women we go at. Men and women.
But Malika Shanae knows it's a double standard.
It is a double standard.
And I've been talking about double standards for the longest. The drug dealer or entertainment lifestyle is just more glamorous and appealing than the blue collar, even if they're making the same amount. And that's why those women are going to be playing leapfrog, because that lifestyle is what it is. And I'm not going to go too deep into that. But if I got a blue collar guy making 200 grand a year with good benefits, and that's guaranteed money, versus somebody else making a risky $500,000, like you said, it's a lifestyle you want to live. But when you live that lifestyle, I think it's kind of messed up for you. And this is where the chat says I'm being hard on women. I think it's just messed up for you to rule out a whole section of men because they don't have that lifestyle. How about the standard of a man being in a relationship?
Oh, we're going deep. She's going rabbit hole.
Doesn't know how to love someone. So should he settle for any woman because he's a more? How about this?
We going.
That is
going rabbit hole. We going rabbit hole.
But they do that every day. Men do that all the time. Men who are emotionally damaged settle. Yeah, absolutely.
Men and women. It's just so it's just so deep. Why would you do that, Malika?
Man, she coming out with the guns blazing tonight.
We're not even trying to go that deep.
LeBron's got a sprained ankle. And she's coming out with the guns blazing tonight.
Do.
Right?
She coming
Bro.
out Kendrick Lamar.
All I asked was a simple question.
Who are you listening to?
That's it. And are you listening to the woman that wants you to talk to the man making $500,000 because that's what she says, or are you passing up on that guy? All right, look, let's flip it.
Oh.
I don't even know why right now, but I'll flip it for 3 seconds. Am I not gonna talk to a woman who brings all these wonderful qualities to the table, but she doesn't have a well-paying job? And I'm a high value man in my eyes. I love myself. So am I gonna date and settle down with a woman who, let's say, is not bringing anything to the table? You have to set your standard, man.
Yeah, there have to be standards. There, you have to have your own standards, and what your standards are, and don't let anybody talk you down. Now, the issue that comes in the stop. The issue comes into if your standards are so beyond so extravagant that it takes you literally out of the spectrum of the men that you're looking for. You cannot live in the ghetto and be wanting a 7-figure man when you've never been out of the ghetto. You won't find that person in the ghetto.
All right, let me ask you a question.
What?
All right, we don't have any women right now live. I wish we had a woman that we can talk to live, right? And pull in right now. But let's say a woman is not bringing anything financially to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're in. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
No. Go ahead. Because I was going to do an experiment right now.
No, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish. Because I'm after you.
Some quick question is, since you got an experiment. You're a woman. You're not bringing anything to the table financially, and you're expecting a man who is gonna bring 8 figures to the table, and not have this and not have that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no personal goals. You have no personal drive. You're not making any of your own income. Do you feel like you have that self-love? I'm gonna ask a deep question now and be serious.
Go ahead.
Do you love yourself still by knowing that you're not, giving yourself the respect of chasing your drive and ambition? Like, I love the fact that in my relationship, my girl doesn't want to be a housewife, and she's driven and she wants to invest and she wants to grow. Like, I love that. A lot of men who's, successful, they might want a more submissive woman who they can depend on, just, taking care of the household. So that's what I'm just asking. Like, you laughing and shit.
I'm laughing at Malika. I'm laughing at Malika because here's my experiment, right? We need a lady to pull in. All right, I'm gonna put out a phone number.
We two dudes talking about this, man.
All right, I'm gonna put my phone number out there. Okay, if you want to come in, I will pull you in to this live stream right now. I'm gonna give you my phone number: 301-857-1757. I will send you a link now to come into this relationship conversation that we're having. Who are you listening to? The number again is 301-857-1757. And look, if you send me a text and I send you the link and you come in here, be prepared for the smoke, because Young Hef is on fire tonight. Okay, he is on fire tonight. The number is 301-857-1757. Text me right now. I've been looking for your text. I will send you the link. If your mama calls, I'm going to send your mama the link. I'm going to send Mama Hef the link. Mama Hef, the number is 301-857-1757. Send me a text. But look, back your question, man, look. She says that's a hell of an assumption that she doesn't have any goals or motivation.
That's not what I said. This is the point I'm talking about, man.
She gonna burn you to the stake, bro. You can't come. Look, you can't come in and have cock, man. She's gonna come in and put that work. Mama, you heard me, Mama. Come on in here. Talk to Young. Have strings. He dropped the Young. It's Hef streams now.
Hey, man,
all Hef streams.
I'm Young Hef streams for Shotty when I play my game on Twitch. because that's my young Hef.
Who are you listening to? What these standards? Like I said, you cannot be in the ghetto and be looking for a 7-figure man, thinking he's just going to come and find you and pluck you from the ghetto. That only
How do
happened
you
once. That was in
deserve?
Pretty Woman. That
What
was
do
in
you
Pretty
do?
Woman.
What
That's
do
it.
you do to deserve that type of man?
What did you do to deserve it? Top ramen does not get you a 6-figure man. Some women need a push. Men need a push. Men, you are not going to find a
Yeah.
10 in your mama's basement. You are only going to get 3s and 4s. If you're lucky and you got game, you'll get a 6. But outside of that, you're not going to get a 10 if you're living in your mama's basement, or you living in your little brothers or your little sisters or your aunts or your grandma's house.
That's a good point.
Bro,
That's the parallel.
get your life
though.
together. Huh?
That's a good point. That's the parallel perspective.
Standards.
Have you gotten any text yet? Because I have glaring eyes looking at me, like somebody's ready to try to jump online.
Did she send a text? Hold on, I'm looking, bro.
know.
I don't see nothing. 301-857-1757. I didn't see it. I don't see it. I don't see.
So we don't have any of the courageous women.
Some
tonight
women need to push.
come
No
on.
courageous women tonight.
Hey, listen and call in.
You can call in.
You can call in. You'll be able to hear. You gotta go to another room because you're gonna get all the echo.
Room.
You gotta go in the other room. But no, that's just look. Your standards they don't have to meet you where they are, but they have to be reasonable.
We're gonna shout out.
That's what Kevin Samuel was saying. That's what Kevin Samuel was saying. They got to be reasonable. In that one viral clip, look, some of these guys, like I said, you can get the truth from a bum in the street. You can get the truth from a fortune cookie. You just got to be mindful and have the spirit of discernment to be able to acknowledge what words and what messages for you and what aren't messages for you.
The spirit of discernment. I just think it's so eloquent and it's so accurate. But these kids ain't got no damn spirit of discernment. They don't know what no fucking spirit of discernment is. They're looking for another 8-figure motherfucker. And that's the life we in. Who are you listening to is an important question because bad doctrine is one of those things that exist. That's the point. That's the whole point, Arizona Ron. That's what we're talking about.
The whole
tonight.
point.
You know, are you on this? Right. Like, I'm not on here telling you to listen to me because I got a degree in social behavior or relationships. I'm not Hitch. I watch Hitch. It was a great movie, you know, but I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about relationships. I mean, just called you. Somebody's calling you. You got reception on that line you gave out. She's trying to come on.
Oh, there it is. She did. She left me a whole message. Hold on, Ma.
Oh man, I'm scared of this one.
Ma left me a whole message. I didn't say call, Ma. I said text. Text, Ma.
T-E-X-T.
Text. I sent the link, Ma. So I should see your pretty face pop up in a second on the back. She just see, that's what moms do. Moms don't text. She just pick up the phone and call. Yeah. He came in his number. I'm gonna just go ahead and call him. I said text, Mom. Text. Ma, you
know this is a live show. You know this is a live show.
Hey, Ma, we're gonna put the video on too. So make sure you in a proper placing.
Make sure your standards are exceptional.
Make sure your standards. Oh man, that's funny. Anyway, Sweetie's a straight bird. She went on there and got her Bentley repoed, man.
Man, it's tough now because
dumb as a box of rocks, bro. Dumb as a box of rocks.
It's like now the next high profile
kids
dude
these days.
The next high profile dude's gonna get with her in a way he probably will try to send a message like he ain't phased off of, you know, her whole little persona. But then again, she might not get another high profile dude. I mean, Quavo's pretty successful.
She gonna get another high profile dude. She is. She's a PYT. They are definitely going to find somebody else. Somebody else is going get that. Like, she's cute. She ain't no, Jhené Aiko or none of that. But, yeah, Malika's on fire tonight.
Ron,
we go on an extra few minutes because Malika is on fire. Hey
You
Ron,
gave her credit
you
for
might
one
need
of
to go
her
ahead and text
comments
me, Ron,
earlier. Yeah,
because
Ron, come on, Ron, come through, man. Cause see, these oh
yo,
my god,
yeah, man, you going after Ron and Ron? This is Ron's first or second show. You going
Ron
hard?
gave her credit, and he said she was on point, and she's still coming guns blazing, man. You
Look,
might as well send a text.
you might as well send the text and slide through. Yeah, Sweetie is a bird. Thank you. She is a
Sweetie is a
bird,
bird.
straight up, and she had her flock with her on the damn podcast. That's why I was getting irritated the whole time because all of them was what's the best word I can say? Thoughtistic.
Autistic.
They were
Yeah,
thoughtistic. You know, like autistic, thoughtistic.
they was over there. They had flashcards.
Oh, wait a minute. Mama Hef is in the building.
Hello, people.
She got lighting. She got a whole
got lighting.
podcast.
She got the hair to the side. Oh, she got the hair out.
All
Ma, you
right.
got good hair, Ma.
Huh?
Good
Hello, Patricia.
Hello.
So you see what your son been talking about?
Yes.
Putting these women on blast. What do you say to that?
You know what? I have to say this. You cannot sit there and say that about women.
What part?
You cannot sit there and say that about us.
What part?
What you said. What you
What
just
part?
mentioned. As
Ma,
far
I
as
love you to
as
death,
far
but you'll get
no,
thrown out of this podcast if you don't have facts.
listen.
What part?
Listen, as far as you said, if a woman is not working, she doesn't have nothing going on for herself, how can she have expectations of meeting someone with making a whole lot of money? It can
But
happen.
no. What I'm saying is, Ma,
It
if
can
she's,
happen.
I understand, but if she sets out with those expectations, she's setting herself up to get disappointed.
That's not true.
That's what Kevin Samuels is saying. And I'm not trying to sit on here and reiterate and act like him. I'm saying there are Cinderella stories.
Yep.
You're
there are.
referring to a Cinderella story.
They're few and far between, though, Ma. They are few and far between. So what we're saying is you got to be able to, if you're in a situation, like you said, if you ain't got nothing going on for yourself and not doing anything to improve your situation, yet you're waiting for that Cinderella situation to come, that ain't it. That's what I think that's what he's saying.
Not it, but I'm just saying you can never say that won't ever happen. That's
Right.
not it.
Yeah, but
it
we're
can
talking about,
happen.
the majority.
The majority believe
majority
in
you are right. Is your majority you are right about that. It's not
Yeah.
gonna come. It's not gonna
they're not going to come. It's like playing a lottery.
It's not gonna come.
It's like playing a lottery. But you can't keep praying on that one ticket to save you.
No,
Sooner
you
or later,
can't.
you gotta figure this shit out.
You sure?
All right,
And
let
get-
me ask you a question, Patricia, before we let you go. And we really love you.
He just like saying your first
We
name.
appreciate you being a supporter, right? But where do you think young women should get their advice from when it comes to relationships?
Well, old school. I would say from parents, your mother and father. Okay. Your
Okay.
mother and father, how they teach you.
Okay.
But
Okay,
a lot of children, they don't have either the mother.
Kermit, I know
the
what you about
father
to
of
say.
both
Go ahead,
parents.
Kermit. Get her,
Okay.
Kermit.
What if your mama or your daddy ain't got a good track record?
Oh, here we go. This is where we start.
And if they don't have a good track record, you already know what's going to happen. What are they going to do? They're going to go right on social media. That's the highest thing right now with all teenage kids.
Okay, so where do they go if they don't have that? Like, exactly. So where do they go if they don't have the perfect parental situation? What's your next step of advice?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. They're lost. They're lost.
There we go.
They're lost.
It's not a yeah. It's
lost.
not an easy situation.
No.
Because if your parents don't have a good track record and you don't have a good footing in some type of either spirituality or some type of groundedness, then it's going to be hard for me to pull that good information in or where to discern where it's coming from or who to listen to. So
Right.
going to
Especially,
what we've been talking about.
especially if my parents showed that they don't have like a successful relationship, like it's hard. It's hard for that young girl and guy. The
Yep, it
cycle
is.
continues.
Get you a good therapist.
Yeah.
You gotta have health insurance to get a therapist first.
That's right. Sure do.
You got health insurance to get a good therapist. So Mom,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Tanya TKO, the Derek Jacksons, and the Kevin Samuels out here? What do you think they're adding more to the conversation, getting more information, or are they just filtering? They're just more noise. What do you think?
More noise.
More noise? Why do you think that?
That's just what I think. I just think they're just by
That's just what I think.
stuff. I'm just saying that they might just be going by stuff that they're just hearing and they're just putting more to it. You know what I'm saying? They're just putting more
Mhm.
to it.
Right.
Just
Now,
to
have you
keep stuff
listened?
just going and going and going.
So okay, so they're more like social media Wendy Williams.
Yes.
I concur. But some of their information does have some good points. Most of it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it
I
doesn't.
agree.
So to each his own on that. Look at Malika and Ron making up in the chat.
Yeah, I know.
Fighting while we've been talking. You
They've
see
been
that?
dropping a lot of shit in the chat, and
I
Ron
wish
tried to
I
give her
wish I could
credit.
see all that. I can't
You
see
can't
all
see the
that.
chat on the screen.
No, you can't see the chat
I
because she's on her
can't.
phone.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
you
You
on your
can't see the chat
phone.
'cause
That's
she's on
why.
her
Okay.
phone.
Well, we appreciate you, Patricia. Thank
All
you
right,
so
love
much.
y'all.
Ma,
Love you. Stay
Love you.
Love you
supportive.
too.
love
Yay.
you. Mama Half is in the building. We are going to do that. Look, put that number down. I'm going to use that number 301-857-1757. Anytime that you want to pull in or pull up, send me a
Don't be
text in the
scared. Just
middle
come
of it.
talk to us. We're
In the
interactive. We
middle
love
of
the
it,
people,
and I'll
man.
bring you on and we'll get to talking. Look, dead clock is right twice a day. Y'all are really for the smoke out there, bro.
Hey, man,
Y'all are
I'm
for
telling
smoke.
you, it's a topic
Hey,
that
look.
everybody has their opinion on, but nobody really wants to go as hard as they really want to go, I guess. But we have our perceptions and our perspectives, but we know what's good. I mean, the standards are all messed up, and I figured this out by asking several women the basic question, and I had 50-50, man. I'm telling you, just like I said in the beginning, women have told me their standards for men are a little bit skewed, and I'm not getting on women. I just asked women because I was more concerned about how women felt about this topic. Men who help around the house. Okay, so
Good cleanup.
look,
Good cleanup.
we're
Good
gonna have a
cleanup.
chat limit on the amount of messages that we can be accepting.
Hey, shout out to Malika Janae. Going after everybody in the chat.
Yeah, she was the
We
mod. She
love
was
you,
a chat
sis.
mod tonight.
She's a chat mod tonight. Hey, look, hey, you wrapped it up perfectly, bro. Look, you gotta have a good grounding, a good discernment of knowing where to get your information from. If you don't, you're starting from ground zero at the point. You start believing anything and everything. So who you are listening to is vital to how you will grow, how you will not grow, how you succeed, how you fail, and also how you build relationships, and how you tear them down. And a lot of broken people out there getting still bad information and still ruining other people's lives with that same bad information. So, look, man, we got to do better. We got to do what we've been doing and keep hopefully spreading good information like Malika, Arizona, Ron, Mama Hef, everybody who came through the building tonight, and just keep doing what we're doing and what we're supposed to do. Hopefully, this is good information. Hopefully, you take something from it, jot it down like Hef in his book.
Hey, man, my book will be here on time next Sunday at 9:00. It was not my fault for us going on air.
It was
9:20.
all me. It was all me. Hef actually came in early to get his stuff together. And look, his shit fucking up. He keep going in now. He came in early to get his stuff together, and I had to reset my whole stuff. But look, We love y'all. We thank y'all. We're gonna keep doing this because we enjoy it. We enjoy you guys.
Tell them
And
where they
the
can
only
find
way
us.
this grows, the only way this grows is if you share it. You help share it from left to right, up and down. When you see us live and you watch it, share it to your page. Have your friends share it. Tell somebody and let them tell somebody. Let them tell somebody. We love what we do. We love giving it to y'all. So without further ado, Hef, take us out with the fader.
With the fader. Hey man, thank you guys. I love the chat. I love you, Malika Shanae. You're my baby. I love you, Mama Hef. Love you,
Clean it up.
Arizona Ron. Y'all be safe. Anybody that I missed from the beginning in the chat, keep on coming out. Check out the Realities podcast, guys. We're putting on Black Business
Realities
every week.
podcast, YouTube.
We love our friends and family. We are an interactive show. This is not your everyday bullshit. We will grow organically. I'm not going to get into my preaching, but stick with us. Grow with us. We know who our day ones are. You know where to find us on our socials. Hef Streams, Young Hef Streams on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. K Dizzles everywhere. Talk to us throughout the week. We like to get ideas for topics, and we are not going to give y'all the bullshit.
No, indeed. We're going to keep it 100%. And we always going to get dressed up, ready to go. What up, Chrome? You late as a mother.
Chrome Sugar came through with the clutch shot.
The clutch clap.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, you still going. I'm trying to end the stream, Malika. You still going there, Ron.
And Ron is having a great conversation tonight.
Look, we love y'all. We out. See y'all next week. Sundays at 9. Tell your friend, tell your friend. Love you, Andrea. See you, boo.
It might be 9:06.
9:06, maybe 9:04, 9:20. Who knows? CP time.
You know. And I know. And they know. And we know. We go all in. You know. And I know. They know.